Utah man put to death in state's first execution since 2010. 19-year-old arrested on suspicion of DUI. And Hurricane City Council adds to the list of businesses to require background checks.
You're watching St. George News at 5. Brought to you by our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law.
Good afternoon, I'm Christy Langenheim. 48-year-old Tabaron Dave Honey was executed by lethal injection in Utah early Thursday for the 1998 murder of Claudia Ben, his girlfriend's mother, whom he killed by slashing her throat during a drug-fueled rage. According to Warden Bart Mortensen, Honey expressed love to his family and gratitude to correctional officers before his death, stating that if his execution was needed for healing, he was ready. His daughter, who spent his final evening with him, had unsuccessfully pleaded for his sentence to be commuted to life in prison. After the execution, Honey's family performed a Native American grieving ritual, while outside anti-death penalty protesters gathered and held signs that said, "All life is precious." Honey was one of 6 people facing execution in Utah. A 19-year-old man, Alex Don Hicks, was arrested on suspicion of DUI after crashing his Subaru Impreza into a tree in Parowan Canyon, Utah, on Wednesday evening, sparking a small fire. Hicks, who admitted to drinking, was found with bloodshot eyes, smelling of alcohol, and unable to stand without assistance, according to Iron County Sheriff deputies. Both he and his female passenger escaped serious injury, and while being evaluated at the scene, Hicks was taken to Cedar City Hospital for a blood draw before being booked into Iron County Jail. In an August 1st meeting, Hurricane City Council voted to require mandatory background checks for employees of tattoo shops and businesses dealing with minor children or private residences. We'll go to Haven Scott for the full story.
Members of the Hurricane City Council recently voted to add tattoo artists to businesses requiring background checks in the Hurricane Valley. Originally on the agenda was an ordinance regarding updates to business license regulations. The item that considered adding firearm businesses, massage therapists, and tattoo artists to those requiring background checks was originally tabled for more discussion on July 18th. On August 1st, the council dropped businesses dealing with firearms and massage therapists from consideration on reasoning the state of Utah already performs the checks. Voted on and approved unanimously will be mandatory background checks for tattoo artists and any business dealing with minor children. Employees of tattoo artists will also need to complete the requirement.
Thanks, Haven. Now we'll go to Sheldon and Amy for your favorite weekend adventure guide.
That's right, so many great things happening this weekend, starting at the Casablanca Resort.
Casapalooza is back for 2 nights.
2 nights of Casapalooza. We've got Van Halen and Yellow Brick Road. You can't miss the free shows right there at the pool.
And if you want to head up to Springdale, it's going to cool off there.
Oh man, get to somewhere cool. Springdale, the newly renovated Bumbleberry Theater, has Mason Cottom on Friday and the Mighty Steelheads on Saturday. You can't miss those shows. And for a full list of weekend events, check out our TGIF listing on stgeorgenews.com.
Now back to you in the studio.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sheldon and Amy. After a 4.5 magnitude earthquake hit southwest Utah, Washington County Water Conservancy District employees quickly inspected local dams to ensure their integrity and prevent any potential issues. Here's Maury Kessler for more on this story.
At 11:29 p.m. Sunday, July 28th, a 4.5 magnitude earthquake located 15 miles south of Bryan Head was felt across the region. While the event had more rumble to it than impact, it was enough of a concern for the Washington County Water Conservancy District to have its people spread across the county and inspect reservoir dams following the quake. David Jessup, the operations manager for the Water District, spoke to St. George News about the event and how the Water District approaches dam safety.
With an earthquake of that size, it's of concern enough that we sent myself and 3 other employees out to check all the dams in the district all the way from Gunlock to Kolob, including Quail Creek Reservoir here, Sand Hollow, Gunlock, Kolob, Ivans. And so what we do is we check the tops of the dams, we check the downstream toes of the dams, we check for any cracking, any wet spots, we check the outlet works, make sure there's no water running in places that it shouldn't, and just get a good visual. We had all of our guys with bright lights, and obviously it was nighttime when it took place. But within 2 hours of the earthquake, we were able to get all the dams checked and to ensure their integrity and their safety.
The Water District's dams are inspected on a routine basis, which is done on a weekly basis when reservoirs are at 90% capacity or higher.
Thanks, Maury. A 16-year-old high school student, Emmett Writing, raised approximately $2,500 to bring global music award-winning violinist David Park to St. George, organizing a public concert and masterclass aimed at mentoring local teen musicians. The event, set for August 16th at Desert Hills High School, will feature performances by 6 selected students from various schools, followed by personalized instruction from Park. Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. To learn more about our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law, go to WeWinInjuryLaw.com. I'm Christy Langenheim with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5, brought to you by We Win Injury Law.